folks, super impromptu video that I wanted to do because I got a whole bunch of Dwarven Forge in from their latest restock, and I thought, hey, let's go ahead and go live. I was actually recording the unboxing. I'm going to come back and finish that recording once we have all this stuff unboxed and unbaggied, and then we can do that. But in the meantime, let's see, do I want to put the laptop there or where should we put it? Can we zoom in a little bit? Can we zoom in some? The live video always wants it to be so zoomed out. All right, I think that's good. Okay. So we have a lot of stuff to unbox. Already, we have unboxed a couple things. We've unboxed the watchtower. Look at this watchtower. Oh my gosh, this thing is so freaking awesome. And I'm telling you, folks, this watchtower was not too terribly much either. It was like maybe 120 or something. Does it say on this spreadsheet? No. But it has 3 floors. Watch the actual video when it goes up to see how I put that little watchtower together. But folks, we have a lot of stuff. So let's dive right in. Do I want to do it like this? I'll just aim it like that. How does that look? All right, here we go. So we already did one Zoltar's game room worth of stuff. And I'm going to be popping this all into plastic tubs. So except for these lanterns have actually really nice plastic inserted pieces. So I think we're just going to leave those alone in these boxes. But we got 2 of these boxes of these standalone lanterns for now. And I think, like I do with most of my accessories, I do Dwarven Forge related anyway. I'll leave those in those boxes. But the rest of this stuff I want to crack open and get out of these boxes because I'm going to be putting them all in tubs. Divided up by piece type. So even though we have this Zoltar's Game Room thing, it's not going to remain Zoltar's Game Room for very long. This is the Doors pack. So actually, this is super exciting. This is the first time I've gotten any of these Dwarven Forge Dungeon of Doom pieces. And this floors pack has a bunch of stuff. Does this actually open? Oh my gosh. Look at these trap doors with some kind of archaic rune or something. But they open up completely if you want them to, which are very, very cool. And then we also have, it looks like just some flat ones. Oh, or are these inserts? These are inserts. Oh, how cool. See, I just love the modularity of Dwarven Forge because now look at this. Instead of that trapdoor, you can go with this trapdoor. So there's different trapdoor inserts as well. And then there's a whole bunch of these walls because we have some false walls in here. We have some of these walls and these kind of ruined walls. But we have these. So we have a couple of these, it looks like, at least, that have, right now, they just have the metal bars in place, but those can, as you can see, easily be swapped out. And look at this. How cool is that? Now you come up, now you approach this. Well, this looks like a very bizarre wall. Indeed, if you do something, step on the right pressure plate maybe, and then there you go. Absolutely love that. So there's 3 different inserts for that wall and 2 insert walls. And then we have some more doors, which I am in desperate need of more of these basic vaulted doors. Chris, how are you, my friend? Yes, I am just in awe right now because this is my first taste of the more recent Dwarven Forge Dwarvenite pieces that have this vaulted dungeon look to them. And so, yeah, these are absolutely awesome. I picked up a whole bunch of sets, but actually I was kind of lacking in doors. So I'm glad to have picked up at least a couple extra doors. These are the narrow doors. You may be saying, Rick, what do you need? In what application would you use a narrow door? Well, let's say you had something like this, where a full door just is not going to fit in there. The narrow door fits in there. Actually, it really doesn't. With the vaulted columns, it doesn't. But let me find a better example. So, say you have something. Actually, I don't think I can even make a good example out of any of this. Only because these narrow doors are much better with the other dungeon pieces, because essentially they would fit in here. Without that column being there, they would fit perfectly in there. See how they would fit perfectly in there? It is fantastic. Chris, I know what you mean. I got so many of those Warlock tiles, and I haven't really used them too terribly much. I used a good portion of them for a while with Dicey Depths. Because of their clickability, I was able to save a bunch of rooms and passageways for Dicey Depths, and I could plop down a room, plop down a passage, plop down a room, plop down a passage. And I just saved about 4 or 5 rooms and 3 or 4 passages in a box pre-made. But that's really all the tiles I was really using. But I may get to using them more now because I have them stored so nicely in plastic tubs, which honestly, storage to me means that I get more use out of things. Because before they were stored so inconveniently, I very rarely used them. Look at these doors. Very cool, arcane looking doors. Look at the back of those doors. Or the front, however you want to think of it. Those are super cool. As with all Dwarven Forge doors, they are open. I don't want to make this too much about comparing to, Warlock tiles, but one of the cons of the Warlock tile inner doors were that they did not function. They were just stationary. Look at these. I can see getting so much use out of this piece here. These corner wall with infused door, and even the little corner door here functions. But look at this piece. Can you just see how many uses you might get out of a door like that? That is just so awesome. All right, I think that was it for the doors pack. I think we looked at everything. So, moving on, shoving all of this to the side because we have a lot more to look at. And next up, we have Passageways. And these you don't have to, and these actually don't even have the magnets in them, which is interesting. I wonder if this is an older piece. An older piece from the original. Yeah, this may be an older piece from the original dungeons that I just didn't pick up. I don't know why I wouldn't have picked these up. Maybe because they, I don't know. But these are just your typical passage pieces, which nowadays, and we'll see in a second because I picked up some of the pieces to do this with. Where are they? Here we go. This. So nowadays it's like this. You have a floor and you have these freestanding walls with the metal tabs. And that is how they do the passageways these days. But you can do the exact same thing just with one piece. So can you tell which is the multi-part piece passageway and which is the single piece? Of course, the single piece has no magnet. The multiple piece does, but the tabs cover up the magnet. So I don't know how well that would stick to a terrain tray. I may have to test that out. But anyway, I got a whole pile of these passageway pieces Just an absolutely unbelievable amount of those passageway pieces. And let's see, what do we want to unbox next? Let's open one of these starter dungeons. Let's see here. Give me just 1 second. Okay. I picked up 5 of these starter dungeons, and I picked up 5 of the Zoltar's Game Room, just as a way to have just an unbelievable amount of these vaulted pieces. Now, do these have magnets? Yeah, these also have magnets, which is good. Now, this starter dungeon is just super basic. Incredibly basic. Because it's just plain straight walls, none of which are magnetic, I don't think. Plain corners, plain floors. But there is one cool piece in here, which is this treasure pile. This is my first ever one of these treasure piles. I don't know how well the live focusing looks, but it looks like there is some bones in there, a little treasure chest, a little jewel. Chris, the castle pieces I picked up was this. I actually picked up a small watchtower. Can I lift this whole thing up with one hand? I picked up this small watchtower, which is awesome. This is my first foray into the castle pieces, which are so very, very cool. Just this one watchtower alone was super cool. But the rest of this is all just going to be the dungeon pieces. But look at this. I love this little treasure pile with the jewel in it. That's got to be one of my favorite treasure-related pieces. But anyway, so this starter dungeon just gave me some walls, floors, corners, and I picked up a ton of those. A ton, also known as 5. So we got a lot of those to unbox. And once I finish unboxing these, I kind of want to do a quick little layout. I don't know how quick it's going to be, but we'll see. Already we got a decent pile going. Of course, when you go to the website and you're like, well, how many sets do I want? And I don't honestly know. I mean, what does a layout of 5 starter sets look like? I have no idea. But as I'm unboxing these, and we still have a lot more to go, we already have quite a bit over here. Did I overbuy? I don't think there's such a thing. But someone in the Dwarven Forge forums did tell me, when they saw what I had ordered, they said, now, Rick, you have a lot of bread and butter pieces there. Sometimes our eyes are bigger than our tables, and you may not end up being able to use all those pieces. And I said, you know what? That's probably true. So I kept it, because I could have gone back and ordered more, but I decided to keep it at this. I got 5 of these starter dungeons. I got 5 Zoltar's Game Rooms. I have 2 corner passage sets, and I have 2 straight passage sets, and 2 modular passage sets, and what else? Then I got those lanterns. I have a couple more things coming on Friday, but there's not a whole lot. The only things coming on Friday are more of the terrain trays and the more of the lanterns, as well as a couple cage sets, believe it or not. Because I do have some Dwarven Forge cages from one of their resin Wicked Edition sets, but those aren't necessarily the most ideal. Hal, how are you, my friend? I didn't even post this to Facebook or anything. I should probably post this on Facebook. This was so impromptu. I just got these in minutes ago. The UPS guy just dropped this off. And I was like, and I started doing an unboxing video, which I will finish up once I actually unbox all this stuff. But I said, okay, I'm going to pause the video and I'm going to unbaggy all of these pieces, and then I'll resume the video. And then I started unbagging the pieces, and I thought, well, maybe I'll do a live video. So that's why we are unboxing and unbagging everything live. I don't even know if you can see me. I've started to move over here just because we're running out of room on the table. Okay, so these are starter dungeon pieces, and we will divide them all up by piece type later to inventory everything. I'm going to need way more plastic tubs now. I shouldn't say way more. We'll see what I end up having. And then it'll probably be back off to the Container Store for me to get another couple tubs. Alright, this is the last of the starter dungeon sets. The starter dungeon, of course, comes with 4 of the corners. And again, this is all the newer vaulted dungeon looking pieces. 4 corners. A lot of these straight walls. There's 2. Here's 5 more. So I guess 7 straight walls. And looks like 5 floors. And even the floors are new compared to the floors that I have, because these new floors have the brickwork sculpted all around the outside, which makes the whole piece really nice. The older floors have kind of more of this top stone look around the outside as well. A couple more of those. Honestly, the most exciting piece for me out of the whole starter dungeon pack are these new treasure piles. Again, they're not new because the Dungeon of Doom sets came out a while ago, but these are new to me. Hal, I know. Don't worry, we will work on this. We will work on all of this. But I know it's all mixed up right now, right? And it's only going to get worse because we haven't even touched any of that, and we still have more over here. So definitely take care, take precautions. Definitely have something to comfort yourself, because this pile is going to get a lot bigger and a lot messier. No! I'm done with the grocery bag organization method. I'm going right to plastic tubs. I learned my lesson. Grocery bags. If I start storing things in grocery bags again, I will never use it. Here's a bunch more of these passageways. These are the older passageways, but they're a single piece, but they have no magnets on the bottom. And here's an example of what the older floors look like on the side. See, they have this less detailed side, whereas the new floors have this kind of a thing. Very cool. Look at that, and it fits right in there too. The precise detail, that's how you know Dwarven Forge is so quality, because you can do things like that and it stays perfectly on grid, and you don't have quality issues piece by piece. All right, that was all the passageway pieces. Now let's move on to a set that I haven't looked at yet, which are these. These are more passageways, but they're the modular ones. Are these the angled passageways? No, these are not the angled ones. These are more straight ones. Let me share this real fast. Now that I'm already half done. I should have put this on. I should have shared this earlier when I first started, but again, I didn't know I was going to do this. I just thought it was just going to be, you know, what should I say? Come join us live as I unbox my new shipment of Dwarven Forge. Yeah. Oops. Will it give me a decent thumbnail? No, not really. Okay. That'll just have to be how it is, I guess. Alright, anyways. So now these passageways are going to be so cool because of how modular they are. Woot woot! Iowa Woodsman, how are you? Long time no see. Look at these passageway pieces. These are next level for the modularity. Brain, I would agree with you. Well, I mean, I would agree with you for the classic Dwarven Forge stuff, but I just feel like there's so many pieces I don't have, so I can't say that I know the best way to use all of them. But look at these magnetic swinging blades, folks. Are you kidding me? And you know how these work is, you guessed it, right on the walls. And they will swing out. Now, apparently not that wall, because that wall is not magnetic. Oh, here we go, here we go. See, they are so good about telling you which pieces have the magnetic thing built in. So now watch this. Yeah. So you can have your magnetic swinging blade wall trap when you do your passageway like this. Look at that. Oh, so there it is. And so you can have it be where maybe, you know, part of the wall flips around. So the passageway just looks innocuous at first. And then when they step into the passageway, bam, magnetize that on the side. Swing that blade out there. Magnetized walls. Absolutely love it. Renee, how are you? It absolutely was this recent restock. When was it? It wasn't last week, right? It was the week before. Or was it last? No, it couldn't have been last week. It had to have been the week before. But even still, they shipped it out so fast. I store them in plastic tubs. Check out one of my most recent videos is how I store my Warlock tiles, but I also show off kind of early on how I store my Dwarven Forge, because that's how I got the idea to store my Warlock tiles. At the Container Store, these containers called Smart Store containers are just the most perfect tubs. Now, some people use the really useful boxes, and those are also really useful. But these other Smart Store containers are so fantastic that I found that they are just too good. Oh, you did already watch the Warlock Tile storage video. Well, awesome. Yep. And that's the exact same way that I store the Dwarven Forge stuff, in those same plastic tubs as those. And now we have a second one of these passageway pieces. Passageway sets, I should say. Wouldn't that be amazing? I mean, if you had enough Dwarven Forge pieces to actually build an extension on your house with just the Dwarven Forge pieces. I mean, you get enough of these together, they are heavy. These 2 shipping boxes alone was over 50 pounds of Dwarven Forge goodness. But these Passageway pieces are so awesome. And see, even in these Passageway sets, we have more different pieces. So here's a 2x1 floor magnetized. Here are just these. So look at this. You can do these tiny, you can do these half passageways or do something like this even. May 4th. That's right. I should have remembered that because I remember it was May the 4th be with you day, right? So yeah, I guess it was 2 weeks ago. Time just has flown by. Good grief. But even still, they got this right out to me. And I placed a second order as well. And those should be here on Friday. But I'm probably not going to do an unboxing video for those because that's more the same. It's more of these LED lantern posts. Which I will show you now for those who are just tuning in. If you haven't seen these LED lantern posts, they are so nice. I mean, LED anything is top notch with Dwarven Forge. I already do one of these, not this one yet, evidently. So I picked up a bunch of these. Look at these posts. And number one, the posts themselves look really nice. There's the socket for the LED, but they look very nice. Here's some of these. And you can put in any of the LED components that you want into the socket because they're all these 2-prong pieces. So you just slot that accessory in there. Here's a little switch and boom, look at that. You have this like street light. And look how it like actually flickers. I just absolutely love that. So I ended up getting 2 sets of these in this first order, and then when I heard they were starting to run low, I ran back and got another 3. So I'll have, when all said and done, I'll have 20 of these lantern posts, which should be a decent amount for a city scene. And you don't even have to use them with, just your Dwarven Forge stuff. You can use it with Miniature Building Authority. I love my Miniature Building Authority. The next thing I cannot wait to come in is my Miniature Building Authority Kickstarter rewards from their Kickstarter last year. You need some of the vertical bread racks like Subway has. I've seen people have something similar to that. That would be a fantastic idea. The only problem is I have nowhere to store the racks. At least with the tubs, I can keep stacking the tubs on top of one another. You have the camp set. I got it just for the LED campfire. The camp set, yes! I did not pick any up in this restock. The camp set is actually one of the few sets, and I have 3 of them. I picked up 3 camp sets from the Caverns Deep, not during the Kickstarter, but after the Kickstarter. Oh my gosh, before I forget, we are now unboxing this set, which is the angular modular corner passageway set, but it comes with a spike trap floor, which has this little magnetic tool, which will allow you to pull the top off of the floor. Now let me see if I can find that piece. Where would it be? These are so cool. This is going to give so many new ways for me to make passageways. I'm super excited about that. But yeah, that LED campfire that comes with the camp set is awesome. It's a big old campfire too. And I sometimes feel like we get desensitized to a lot of this stuff because, if you've been collecting Dwarven Forge for so long and you have so many pieces and the LED stuff is cool, but if you pull that out in front of a friend who really is not, all that into miniature terrain, and you start turning on your little LEDs, your little LED campfires and wall torches and little candles built into the tavern tables, and you start illuminating all those little things, it really blows some people away. Where is it? Is it here? Look at this. How cool is this? So here just looks like an innocuous little floor, right? Wrong. Spike trap. And I know the live feed of this probably doesn't give a very good look of clarity. But oh my gosh. These spikes are so cool. But what's even cooler is that skeleton. Do you see that skeleton in there? Oh my gosh. How cool is that? And you can put the floor back on. But this is the perfect little tool because obviously you'll have floors and walls all around this. So how do you get in there to lift that up? This makes that so perfect. Oh my gosh, I absolutely love it. Hal, you are absolutely right. And you know, right now, folks, under this, if I could lift the top of this table off, under here would be my Dwarven Forge caverns. I just did a whole video tour of my caverns. Look on my channel and take a peek at that of my Dwarven Forge cavern layout. I still need to do that. A little over a week ago, not this last weekend, but the weekend before, I was supposed to have people over to do dicey depths in that cavern, but unfortunately, I couldn't get a whole lot of people together. Only one person ended up showing up, and so with that being the case, I said, well, let's just do some board games, because, yeah, me and one other person could run through it, but I'd like to have a party. And then last weekend, just a couple days ago, I was going to run through it, but we ended up playing some other games. And so this cavern is still waiting to be adventured through, hopefully maybe this weekend. Yes, that tower is amazing. Of course, I just completely knocked it over. I was going to pick it up and move it over there, but it is fantastic. Yes, LEDs are so freaking awesome, and they do add to the immersion 100%. People absolutely love those. But kick up, yes, that tower. This was my first foray into the Dwarven Forge castle pieces, and I gotta say, I was thoroughly impressed with how these floors assemble and lift off, and how everything just looks so nice. This was just the small watchtower, but I absolutely, because I have not had any of those pieces before, any of the castle pieces. Now, what is this? Oh, this is more passage pieces. We are dumping just everything. This is a decent amount of stuff. Again, when I ordered all this, I wasn't, sure exactly how many pieces it would actually end up being. But there are a lot of passageway pieces here, which is great. All right, and then after this, we have 4 more Zaltar's game rooms to unbox. Here's another one of these. Absolutely love it. Ooh, spike trap. These spike traps are so cool. On one of the next restocks, hopefully they have have more of the dungeon traps. That's what I want. Because right now I have the crossbow trap, I have the spike floor trap, and I have the swinging blades trap like we saw earlier. But these are the only traps that I have. So I'm looking forward to getting some more traps. Okay, so next is more Zaltar's game rooms. And these are the big boys. There's a lot of good pieces in these. All right, I'm going to do something that might... Let's move all this backwards. There we go. And also move the... Well, I guess that's okay. The camera looks all right there. Okay, here we go. Zaltar's game room has... And again, one of the main things I was looking for with this restock was to finally dive into the vaulted dungeon. The vaulted dungeon look. And this one is magnetic. So this is another one of those walls that will work perfectly with the crossbow trap. on the wall like that. Or the swinging blades trap, where the blade actually moves. And yeah, or any other little magnetic piece that you might have. And then we also have some more of these LED pieces here that can plug in there. Yes, exactly, Woodsman. That is exactly correct. A whole bunch more little LED pieces in this one, which is why I grabbed 5 of this set, because look at this. In one single set, you get 8 more plugins. You get 4 of the common torches, which is fantastic. So if you think 5 times 4 means I have 20 of these torches. Of course, they're not all. I only think we get 2 LED walls. So I only have 10 LED straight walls that those torches can plug into, but still. But all these other accessories. I love the throne that you get in this set. You even get a little miniature Dwarven Forge layout. I mean, how cool is that? How meta is that? You get some of these weapon racks, which are so cool. And then you get this, one of these really awesome tables with like the runner going across it, but the table itself is very detailed too. Of course, you can't really see the detail on the quality of a live video feed, but what can you do? But yeah, that's why I got so many of the Zoltar's game rooms, because they had so many great pieces. So many great bread and butter pieces, but also LED pieces, a bunch of little accessories, a trap, and this big ol' 2x2 floor piece, and some of these beautiful archway pieces. So this is the double door. You can stick a couple doors in there, and then this just closes up on top of it. But also this. That's not also magnetic, is it? It is! Oh my gosh, I didn't even realize it was. So this is another LED thing, so you can pull that out of there, and there are 2 LED tabs. You can stick torches or whatever else. I don't even think I talked about these. Here's the other ones. They're like a serpent's head, a cobra head, a serpent's head. For Sassul was the demon or whatever it was, part of the storyline of the Dungeon of Doom Kickstarter. But it's this beautiful orb that lights up. Do you want to see how bright that is? So let's just do it on one of these other LED walls. Here is what this looks like. So there's the socket. Here are the prongs. Let me put that in there. So the LED piece is now attached to it, and the switch is right where? Am I blind? Here it is on the back. Are you ready? Look how bright this is. Look how bright that is. That is so amazing. How gorgeous is that? But the modularity, when you think of someone, and in real life, this is even brighter than that. But when you think of, someone making terrain, they probably would have made this just one solid piece. But Dwarven Forge lets you pop these little accessories in and out. So if you did not want to do that green glowing orb, you don't have to, because instead you could do this little torch sconce. And let's see how this looks. Torches in there, and here we go. Are you ready? Oh, but not only that, I mean, watch it flicker. Look at that flicker. How gorgeous is this? This is just a piece. You can make your whole dungeon, and here is a little torch that's not just lit up, it is actually flickering. How cool is that? I'm going to need a special little storage thing to store these little LED pieces in, because I don't want the leads or whatever you call them to get bent. But oh my gosh, there's so many pieces here. I feel like this is the right amount of pieces. It looks like there's a decent amount of stuff here. So we should be able to build something of some substance. Okay. 2 Zoltar's game rooms down and 3 to go. Whoops. Move those over. Okay, here we go. Here is another one. So many pieces in here. The diagonals are fantastic, though I do need some of the other side of the diagonal wall to fill in the gaps if I wanted to build completely around it. That's the one thing that I do not have. I take that completely back. I do have those. I don't even know why I said that, to be honest, because I do have those from the original Dungeon Kickstarter. I just guess I wanted more of them because, you know, if I use all my diagonal walls from the original Kickstarter and I use all those backfill pieces, then, oh my gosh, I love these. I'll show you in a second why I love these so much. Then I may, and I want to use my vaulted angles, I'm going to need more of those backfill pieces. But, I mean, what are the chances I use every diagonal piece I have plus every diagonal backfill piece I have? But, oh yeah, that's right. This archway piece is so cool. So again, getting back to this piece, which we were looking at earlier, but I got distracted. So it has the 2 sockets for LEDs on either side, and this middle part is magnetic. So you can absolutely attach the magnetic accessories there. I don't have a lot of them. Like there's a crossbow trap. But there are a lot more. And now we have more of these floors too, these big 2x2s to take up some space. Absolutely love it. All right, we have 2 more Zoltar's game rooms to unbox before we can then start putting together a dungeon, which I may do a separate video for that. We'll see. Just because this one's already running, how long? We're at about 45 minutes. Oh my gosh. This is intense. But you only get to unbox. I mean, how often is it you get to unbox 50 pounds of Dwarven Forge? It isn't every day. I mean, I would love it to be every day. At least for me, it's not every day. But we have to enjoy it. Oh, that's right. I was going to show off why I love these pieces so much. So if you are doing like an 8x8 room or just an 8-inch wide room, and you want the door to be in the center of the room, like this is the perfect example. So you would do corners on either side, and then if you put a door in the middle, you have a 1-inch gap there and a 1-inch gap there, and that's where these come in. So you could put these on either side and have the door be in the middle of the room. Love these so much, and I'm glad that I got a bunch of them now from buying all these sets. Lord, yes. I mean, but I don't think I even picked up anything that was highly desired except for the lantern posts. I did pick up 5 sets of those LED lantern posts, but the rest of this was just the bread and butter vaulted dungeon sets. And I know this looks like a big pile of pieces, but it's only 5 starter sets and 5 Zoltar's game rooms. What were some of the really hyped items for the restock? Wasn't it like the embankments or whatever they're called, the escarpments? Those kind of cavern mountain bank pieces or whatever they were. Yeah, the trays. They did restock the trays. Are they out already? I mean, and by the trays, I'm talking about these. I picked up 10 of these. These are the ones, I don't know if you can even read it through the quality of this, but these are the rough stone on one side and lava on the other side. And I do not care at all about the lava side. It was the rough stone side that I was excited about, because I want to be dropping in room after room and not having to cover it all up with poster board like I've done in the past. Okay, we have one more set. One more set. Woodsman, you picked up one of those terrain trays. Hey, I did the same back in the day when they first came out. I picked up one terrain tray that was forest on one side, and I can't remember what was on the other side. I think it was acid on one side and forest on one side. I just picked up one of those. That may have been the only one that was in stock at the time, but so this time that was one of my big priorities. I wanted to get a bunch of the rough stone terrain trays because, again, this is my first foray into this. These are my first magnetic bottom pieces. Can you believe I just tossed that? I mean, that's what you can do with Dwarven Forge. With the Dwarvenite. You don't want to do that with the polystone resin pieces. Look at this big old pile. You can just toss the pieces. And you know how long it would take to paint all this? I commend any of you who paint. I would rather not. I would rather not. Look at all these pieces. Do you see how many pieces there are here? There's so many pieces. And the time it would take to paint all of this, good God. So again, I commend all of you who do paint, but I've got to stick with the pre-painted. Thank the good Lord that Dwarven Forge offers that. Oh my goodness. This is a decent amount of pieces. You know, I wasn't sure. Again, I wasn't sure when I actually ordered them how many pieces this would end up being. I didn't do the math. I just, went with the website limit. It was 5 sets. But then in the forums, I was like, is it frowned upon? Because it's a 5 set limit per order. And I asked, is it frowned upon if you go back and make multiple orders? Lord, you did paint them? Oh my gosh. See, good for you. Because you save some money doing it that way. And I know some people like painting. So you have some fun hobby time. You save some money. It's a win-win. But for me, I do not find painting fun at all. Even if it's just the simple dry brushing stuff, I just would rather not. All right, that is it. Look at all this. Holy smokes. Look at that. You know what? Yeah, you're right. I'm just going to leave it just like this. This is the encounter, and the players are going to have to find their way through all of this to get to where they need to be. No, anyway. I do want to set something up, though. I think I'm going to do that in a separate video, though. I may stop this and restart a new one titled, Dwarven Forge, setting up a dungeon live or something like that. I just wanted to make this one strictly the unboxing portion. So thank you all so much who have joined me for this and kept me company while we were unboxing all of these. I don't even know how many sets it was, maybe 20 sets of Dwarven Forge. But yeah, that's a decent chunk of Dwarvenite right there. All right, folks, thank you all so much for watching. I do truly appreciate it. And until next time.